Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and in today's video we are going to be doing an update on the Project Pan and doing a shop to my stash for May and June. So Project Pan progress. I think I've done some pretty good clearing out, moving forward. So my facial primers for my last bag were a mini of the Touch and Soul No Problem Primer and the Cover Effects Water Cloud Primer. I did use both of those up, so I'm going to put in its place this Urban Decay All Nighter Face Primer. I've had this for about a year, and it's you know, there's not a whole ton left, so I'm going to use this up and finish that up. Oh, sorry about that. That was loud. Next, I had let's just do what's in front of me. Let's just start grabbing some stuff. Next, I had some concealers. My Tarte one I did put back in my drawer because I wanted to really focus on this one, and as you can see there's still quite a bit left in here, but I think I can get through this this rotation, and if I do get through that I will bring my Tarte back in. Next we have the Peach Perfect Setting Powder. I don't remember how much was in it the last time, but there's still, I haven't used it as much. So it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of progress in here, but we are entering into the warmer months, and definitely the humidity is starting to kick up, and I think I can get through this at least by the end of June. So not a whole lot of progress on here, but still just enough. Next, I have the Anastasia Stick Foundation in the shade Fawn, and I have been using this daily. I don't think I notice any real difference here, not a lot. I mean, I do have to twist it up just a little bit more, but just gonna keep on working. Here we have my Too Faced bronzer that I pulled in my last shop to my stash. I hadn't made this an official part of my Project Pan, but I was able to get some pan. We got some pan. So there is pan in here, and I feel like every time I use this, I'm closer and closer to getting through this, and it gives me hope that I can finish this up by the end of this year. Probably not by the end of this rotation, but definitely make really good progress on that, and I'm happy about that. Next we have this Medusa's Makeup Mineral Blush in Georgia Peach. I don't know if it's a mineral blush. I don't know why I said mineral blush. This Medusa's Makeup Blush in Georgia Peach. Last time we left, I had a waffle in the pan, and this time we have a tea in the pan. Tea is for terrific. No, not really. But yeah, I've managed to hit pan, and just like with the bronzer, I feel like every time I use this, I feel a little bit more like we're actually getting there. And so I'm just going to keep plugging away at this, yeah, keep on keeping on. Next we have my Anastasia Dip Brow in Ebony, and this one, I've actually not used this one as much lately. I'm not sure if I have a screen capture of the last time I used this, but I've made a few more marks, a few more dips in there, but not a ton. So that's that. However, I did want to go ahead and bring in something with that, because this is the Morphe micro brow pencil in the shade Chocolate Mousse, and I know there's not a whole lot left in here. That's it. So I think that if I concentrate using this more than the dip brow, I can get through this by the end of June, since I do use quite a bit when I do my brows. So we're going to pull this in here and throw that in for the rotation and the shop to my stash. Along with that, I did finish a brow setting gel. So I am bringing in my e.l.f. I used it today, so you can already tell that it's you know, it picks up product and puts it back in there. So that that 3 months on that Morphe setting gel, it was time to go. But I'll use this one up for a month, and then I'll use this up for the next month. That way I can get through these. This lasts me about 2 months of use, and you know, this gets pretty gross after a month of regular wear. So I really like that I have this as an option. Even though one says brow, one says lash, they're exactly the same thing. So that's what we're going to use. I still have my Sky High mascara. I'm still working on it. I think that I've got about 1 more month of use left in it. It's still working very well. I have been pairing it with mini mascara and just kind of layering this on top, and it's still working well. So I think I'm going to use this through May and then be done with that. But the mini mascara, oh my goodness, the mini mascara that I do have pulled in for this month is the Sumptuous Extreme by Estee Lauder. I don't love this, but it's okay as like a base coat. It's just fine. I also have a Too Faced Damn Girl mascara pulled out in my mini May bag that I'm going to be doing a video for here later. And so I have 2 mascaras for 2 months, and that's what we're working on. Oh, I've got something else too, but we'll get there. So now we're going to move on to some lipsticks, and these 3 I had pulled in for this one I had pulled in for my project pan, but I'm just going to get rid of this one. I'm going to declutter this one. It's starting to smell a little funny, and when I was looking back through some of my lipstick collection, I realized that these are at least 3 or 4 years old. So these have got to go. I have no remorse just getting rid of them. They still wear beautifully. They don't smell bad, but I just think I've got that mental block of these are really old and it's time to go. So this one is starting to smell a little off. So I'm going to go ahead and call this one done and take this out of my project. Next, we have the Bare Minerals Gen Nude Lipstick in Juju. I have no way of knowing how much is gone, but I still really like this. I'm using it quite a bit, so it's going to stay in the project just a little bit longer. Next, we have the Marc Jacobs Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. I think I might have used this once, maybe twice max. It's going to stay. I'm going to keep trying. As well as Black Truffle. I did wear this one once. Again, not enough to really make much of a difference here in the size of the tube, so it's going to stay. We're going to keep working on that one. And I did introduce Seismic in the last round because this one had a purse accident, and yeah, I've used this a couple of times and I forgot how much I really like this. So this one stays in the project too, and we're going to keep trucking and keep pushing through that. My Buxom Full On Plumping Lip Gloss in the shade Autumn I have used a few times, so you can see we're just over halfway there, and I feel like these go pretty fast, so I'm pretty sure that I can use this up at least at least down to the bottom of the X by the next check-in. So slow and steady progress on the Buxom. And then I have this in my bag. I've used the Righteous shade a couple of times. I've done a couple of looks with this palette, this quad, but again, you know, not a whole lot, not any visible progress, definitely no pan, so it's staying in there. My little individuals, where are they? I did go ahead and I bought a clean palette. It was 99 cents at Michael's, and I didn't have to worry about acetone in there. So I went ahead and I bought a new one. I've only done like 2 eye looks with these pans, so I do need to make sure that I'm using them more often. All right, so let's go ahead and show you what I've brought into the project to keep going. I'm just gonna go for just a moment. I decided to go ahead and bring in a foundation because this one I know is getting older. This one is pushing a year now, and since it does have an SPF in it, I do want to go ahead and use it up and move it out. I do like this foundation. I do like the shade match. So I'm going to focus on this one and try to get this one used up and moved out of my collection. I'll put that in there. I also did go ahead and pull out another full-size mascara. That way when I estimate the Sky High will last me through May, maybe, but I do want to use this one. I know this one has been sitting in my drawer for a while, and I was afraid when I opened it that it would be a little bit on the dry side and may have dried out in my drawer, but I was able to use it and wear it no problem, so we're going to go ahead and pull this one into the rotation as well. Next up, I had my Benefit roller liner, but I went ahead and moved that one out. It's still working okay, but I can't get a nice crisp line. So I am pulling in one of my tattoo liners because this does have a really nice fine tip on the end, and I can get a really nice sharp wing with it. So I'm gonna pull this one in for days when I want that really fine line, and then just use my Benefit for a little bit longer. Next, we have my Milani eyeshadow primer. I am so close to being done. I probably have maybe, I would say, to be generous, I have about a week's left of product in here. And then after that is done, I only have, surprisingly, this. I only have one more eyeshadow primer, and that's the Primer Potion by Urban Decay. This is brand new. I have not opened it. I bought this in January. I went ahead and I did give my friend the other one because I know that it's going to take me some time to get through this. So I do that in 2 packs. I give the other one away, and yeah, so I'm going to use this one as soon as my Milani is finished. Next, I swapped out my Urban Decay Heavy Metal Liner. I think I used that one again maybe once or twice. I just don't wear gold a whole lot. This one is pink with gold and silver. This one is in the shade Volume, and I really like this color too. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to get some use out of this. This is also a really nice spring into summer color. So we're gonna give this a try and try and make myself wear this a little bit more. Next, I have, I brought in a highlighter this time. I don't think I had a highlighter in the last time, but this one is the Luna by Luna highlighter in the shade Calypso, and I really love this shade. It's kind of intimidating at first, but it is a really beautiful, just icy, wet looking, it just kind of blends into the skin, and it doesn't give that gray, it doesn't have that gray cast to it on my skin. It just looks really nice, and I don't know, looks nice and glowy, and I really enjoy this. So it's a baked formula. You could use it wet and put it on that way. I prefer to put it on dry, and I think it just gives a really nice sheen to the skin. So this one's not going to be project panned, but I did want to get more use out of it, so that's going to go into this rotation. I'm just going to keep that in this box for now. And up next, I wanted to bring in, yes, more individual eyeshadows. I love these singles from Sugar Pill. I have Kimchi and Frostine, and I just love these so much. I do need to make sure that I use them more. Frostine is this really lovely shiny purple. Let's see. It's got like almost a pink glow to it, and it's just lovely. And this Kimchi is a really beautiful matte blue that's just stunning. I love this so much. So I'm going to bring these out because, again, these stay in that same box my eyeliners tend to live in. And I want to make sure that I use some more of these again. They're great pastels for spring and just really lovely colors. So next, I'm going to be going through my lipsticks, and I am trying to weed out some old ones. As you saw, I have those ones that were just very old, and I've decided I'm just going to keep going through my lipsticks. So here's Kimchi. Guess how many times I wore it? If you guessed 0, you would be correct. Need to go ahead and put that back in my bag. Oh, it's getting ridiculous. So I have this Colored Rain in the shade Rain Fever, and I love me a good purple lipstick. I really do. On the Colored Rain formula, this is a matte liquid lipstick, if I can get it to focus on here. It's a matte liquid lipstick. It's a really lovely color, very berry, very purple, very deep, and it's nice, but I've had it for a couple of years now, and yeah, I'm trying these on. I'm gonna try them on, and if I don't like them, they're gonna go. Same with this. This is the formerly Kat Von D in the shade Sinner, and again, another lovely purple, but we're gonna see how it feels. Again, another Colored Rain. This is in the shade Boss Babe, and it's what I'm currently wearing now on my lips, but you can't see it. It's a very dusty mauve color, and it's very pretty, but it's very, I don't know, it's comfortable still, so I'm gonna keep it, and it's a nice neutral for me. So far this one gets to stay. Next, we have this Urban Decay in the shade Rocksteady. It's a beautiful red, but since I rarely pull out reds, and I just went ahead and decluttered my lady balls, I'm going to keep this one and try this one out and see how this one wears, because I haven't worn it in so long, I don't even remember. So there's that. Oh yeah, Thistle. So I did wear Thistle a couple of times, and I really love this shade. I love this color so much. It's a lovely, dusty lavender gray, and I love it so much. It's so pretty, and it's one of my favorites, and it gets to stay another month. Same with Asphyxia. This is a really pretty lavender, but it definitely requires a certain look. Otherwise, it looks kind of strange on me, but I love it. It's just one of my unusual lipsticks that I just love. Next up, I have this in the shade Lovesick. I've never worn this. Have I? Am I lying to you? No, I have not worn it. I think I've swatched it and that's why it looks weird, but I've never worn it. But this is definitely one of my favorite shades of nude for me, so I'm gonna try this one out and see how it wears. Next, I have this Stila Stay All Day Liquid Lipstick in the shade Como, and honestly, this looks scary, but this is so pretty and so much fun, and I am excited to wear this. I wore this a few times last summer, but I haven't worn it since last summer, so I want to make sure I get some more wears out of this because it's so pretty. And if the formula is still good, it gets to stay. Up next, we have the Too Faced Unicorn Tears that I have worn a couple of times. But again, it's in that same category as Asphyxia, and it's just kind of one of those unique colors that I don't grab for all the time, and that's okay. And last up, we have this other Urban Decay Vice Liquid Lipstick in the shade Crimson. Another red. It's very similar to Rocksteady, so I'm just gonna kind of compare them and see how I like them, if I don't like them, who stays, who goes. I'm trying to be a little bit ruthless with my lipstick declutter right now because I have so many, and basically at this point, if I've had it since the before times, I need to start thinning the herd because I do have some new ones that I haven't even opened that I can use. All right, let me clear this off and we'll get to, oh, wait a minute, one more thing. So this, I had this in my eyeshadow rotation last go round, but I'm going to keep it in my rotation, and I'm going to keep it for blush purposes. I love using this yellow as a blush. I love using, and these three at the bottom I love using as blushes too. So I'm going to keep this in this rotation as a blush palette because I love it. So this stays as a blush palette this go round. All right, now let's go ahead and clear this up and bring in the eyeshadow palettes. All right, here we have my eyeshadow palettes for this rotation. Oh, I forgot to mention, I had a blush in the shade Blissful. It just went back in my drawer. I just stopped using it. And the mini NARS Climax, I just went ahead and chucked it because I hated it. So, all right, eyeshadow palettes. My first one this month, I think last month I pulled out too many, so this one is a smaller stack, but I want to focus on this, and I started a new eyeshadow project called my Eyeshadows of Shame series, so I figure I'm going to have one random eyeshadow in each month, so I didn't need to pull so many. But for my first eyeshadow palette, this is the Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons, and this is my neutral palette for the month. This is what it looks like. This is, again, an older palette. I don't even know, it's been discontinued at least 2 years, but when I got it, I loved it so much. I can create some really lovely looks out of this. Too Faced does not make my favorite formula. In fact, this, I believe, is the only Too Faced eyeshadow palette that I have left. So I'm going to give this another try and see if it's as good as I remember it being, and I can create some really pretty. This Totally Fetch, Earl Grey, and Black Currant are three of some of my favorite eyeshadows in this palette. Earl Grey is very unique to my collection. I do have some dupes for Totally Fetch, but a lot of these really lovely neutrals are are going to be great for this go round. So that's eyeshadow palette number 1. Up next, I pulled the Urban Decay Electric palette. Now this one is my OG old palette. As you can see, some of these shades are looking kind of gnarly, but I'm really excited to use some more of these nice spring colors. This green down here, Freak, is one of my favorite. Fringe is my favorite teal. I love Urban and Jilted. These are lovely colors. And yeah, I'm really excited to play with this for the spring. I think it'll be a nice transition into summer palette. Up next is one of my newer palettes. This is the Kaleidos Club Nebula, and I just love this so much. I didn't want to buy it, use it a couple of times, push it in the drawer, and then not get to wear it for a few months. I'm really trying to use my things, and I love this. These multi-chromes are just so delicious, and the mattes are incredible, and this color story is just amazing. So I'm really excited to play with this and get some really beautiful spring looks out of that, as well as I'm going to keep this one in my rotation. This is again the Lost in Los Angeles palette, and this one is actually a really great companion palette with the Kaleidos palette. Let me see if I can get these both in frame for you. Woo, woo, woo. But yes, sort of. These are both, it just is a really nice, that's not really working out there, but it's just a really great companion palette with the Club Nebula, because there are some really pretty shimmer shades up here, well, around here, that just go very well with the Club Nebula. Like this Rodeo Drive is just one of, it's such a grungy a grungy green olive color that doesn't really seem to fit with some of these other shades, but it goes really well with some of these others in here, with Gravity, with Queen of Blades, Firefly. It works really well with Naru. So it's a really great companion to this palette, and yeah, I'm going to get a lot more use out of those beautiful pigmented mattes and some of these unique shimmers. So that's really exciting for me too. Up next, I went ahead and I pulled this Small Juvia's Place, the Violets palette. It's only 6 shades, but purple is my favorite color, and I love this palette. I think I can get some really great use out of it. Again, as a companion palette to some of my other things, especially the Too Faced Bonbons. I think this is going to pair really nicely with the Bonbons palette. So yeah, I'll be able to get some really good looks using both of these palettes, and yeah, that's another one. All right, up next, June is Pride Month, and I just love having a rainbow palette in my collection at any given time, in my stash at any given time. So this is the rainbow palette that I have chosen for this rotation. This is the Full Spectrum palette, and you can see at the top it's got those really smoky, grungy colors. It's got more primary, secondaries in the middle, and then those shimmers at the bottom. It's just got a really nice mix of colors, and I just love this palette. It's you know, missing some red, but I have red in the Kaleidos palette. I have red in my singles, so I love this. I just love this palette. So very underrated, and I'm glad to pull this one in for the month. And lastly, I don't know what it is about the month of May that makes me just want to use this palette. This palette is in one of my all-time favorites, limited edition palettes, all-time favorite palettes. You know, this beautiful butterfly in the inside, and the shadows themselves are in this pull-out drawer at the bottom. And this is what the palette looks like. There is a wide variety of mattes and shimmers and topper shades, and I wouldn't, would you call it a duochrome, like Lily? It's got a peachy pink kind of shift to it. I'm not really sure if I'd call that a duochrome, but it's not as intense. But this palette, I love it. I can get some really nice neutral soft looks. I can get some really fun looks with Cake and Gone Mad and Bandersnatch. Heads Will Roll. Hatter is a beautiful green. Metamorphosis is just a lovely periwinkle blue. And I can get some nice smoky looks out of Mirror and Time, and Chronosphere gives me that nice smoky brown look. And Dream On is a really, it got a lot of hate for it, but it's supposed to be a topper shade, but it's just a lovely, it's really a pretty topper shade. If I can get that to catch. It's a really pretty topper shade, and I don't know, I just love this palette so much. I know for some people it was an eyesore, and it, I don't know, it's just, it's so good. It's so good. So that's all of the palettes that I have pulled for April, or no, I'm sorry, it's currently, actually no, it's today is May 1st, so it's not even April. I don't even know what day it is anymore. But anyway, these are the shadows that I have pulled for the months of May and June, and I'm really inspired by these color stories and by the potential looks that I have. And even though I have pulled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 palettes for the next 2 months, I also have my 2 wild cards with my eyeshadows of shame that I don't even know what are going to be spun for yet. So I figure with that wild card thrown in there, there's 2 wild cards. I've got plenty of eyeshadows to carry me through May and June, plus, you know, my house, my rules. Anytime I want to pull out another eyeshadow palette, I can. So that's it for this video. I know it was a little bit longer than last time, but let me know in the comments down below if there are any of these particular eyeshadows that you're looking forward to seeing looks from. And if you are, make sure you go ahead and follow me over on Instagram at tiffany.hamblin. I will leave that linked down below. And I post their content almost daily, and I'll be posting looks from these things too. I'm thinking about doing a get ready with me with a couple of these. But yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any of these palettes. Which one of these is your favorite? Are you most excited to see a look from? And yeah, give this video a like on your way out. If you could, to encourage me to keep on going with that Project Pan. And don't forget to subscribe either. I would love to have you stick around the channel and share in this exciting, fun, creative journey. So that's it for me today, and I hope you have a lovely day wherever you are, and until next time, take care.